Welcome back to Sports Federation TV, the show where we talk about a whole range of different codes of sport, brought to you by the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation. We had an interesting discussion with Mr. Alcana from athletics. We now move to something slightly different. We talked 9-ball and we're joined in studio by Dino. Hello Dino, are you well?
Okay.
Good, good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
9-ball, explain what's 9-ball. Let's start there.
So 9-ball is a discipline of cue sport. There's various different disciplines. We've got blackball, Chinese 8-ball, snooker, carom, and 9-ball falls within that sort of family of cue sport.
So what's the difference between all of these? I mean, you talk about carom, you talk about 8-ball, now 9-ball. Give us a helicopter view of what the differences are.
Okay,
because I don't understand them all.
Very simply, in the sort of cue sport fraternity, there's different tables that we play on. There's different sets of rules. There's different international events and qualifiers and tournaments that are aligned with it. If you had to make a comparison, you've got cricket, you've got 3 variations of the game. You've got Test cricket, one day, and 2020. Cue sport is similar. There's just different variations of the sport.
And 9-ball, how prevalent is 9-ball across South Africa?
Well, look, 9-ball is a growing sport, a cue sport discipline. It's not as big as blackball and some of the other cue sports like snooker, etc. However, I think we're reaching that status now where we're getting a lot more awareness created and a lot more people being involved in the sport.
How do you fit into 9-ball? What's your background too?
My background has been in 9-ball over the last sort of 15-20 years. I first started playing when I was in my early 20s. I won my first 9-ball championship, which was the South African and All Africa Championships. Mm-hmm. I've represented South Africa multiple times, I think 8 or 9 times internationally at world events and team events. And I've been involved on the administration level as well, from a perspective of trying to grow and develop the sport in South Africa.
And you don't play any other form of cue sport, or you only focus on 9-ball?
I do actually. I'm a sort of avid blackball player as well, which is on the smaller table. I play nationally and internationally on that discipline as well.
So tell me about November, seeing it you mentioned internationally.
Yep. Well, yeah, so November last year was the World Blackball Championships in the UK. I represented South Africa in the seniors category. I went over to play in the singles championship. Had one of my best events from all the times I've been over to different countries playing cue sport. I ended up getting a bronze medal at the event, which was quite an achievement, especially from a South African perspective, look at where we're trying to take the sport.
Well done, firstly. Secondly, how does it feel to go over and represent your country? Because often people don't know what it feels like to put on that shirt.
Yeah. Well, look, it's for me, it's kind of like second nature. I've played many events, but if I could give you an example, it's the first time that I stepped out of South Africa playing an international event. The feeling that you have representing your country, having sort of a lot of hopes, people that help support, get you over there. It's a little bit of pressure. It's a bit nerve-wracking at times, but it's a sense of pride. Wearing your Protea colors when you watch other sort of big sport like rugby, tennis, cricket, etc. You watch our Protea team, you watch our Springboks on TV. It's the same feeling stepping onto that playing arena. So
wearing, like you say, the pride and coming back with a bronze. What was it like coming back into South Africa wearing this bronze, and how did the rest of the team do?
Well, look, coming back to South Africa was really exciting. We've got a lot of media coverage. We're back on TV again. We've got a lot of radio coverage as well. So it helped the sport from exposure and marketing and getting the sort of word out there. As far as the rest of the team goes, we performed well as a team. We unfortunately didn't end up in the medals. We just won short. We lost in the semi-final. We lost our playoff spot for bronze against Malta, who kind of just pipped us at the last minute. But overall, the team played really well. The bulk of the players were from Western Cape, which was the first, I think, in any national team. Yeah. So, just testament again that there's a lot of talent out here. Not taking away anything else from the other provinces, but overall, the South African squad performed really, really well.
Dino, do you find that the bulk of talent, like you just said, is Western Cape based, and cue sport predominantly is a big sport in the Western Cape, or is it just by chance that people succeeded who went on this trip were from the Western Cape?
Well, look, it's a bit of both, to be honest. Western Cape over the last sort of 10 years has proved to have the talent in terms of the numbers. You know, we've performed well at national level over the last couple of years. I think in most categories we've always been in the top 3 nationally. You know, and leading to that, the numbers here are quite huge as well compared to other provinces. So, I think you know, from a grassroots level, there's a lot more happening in Western Cape versus other provinces. You know, which is kind of one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot more talent at the younger level coming into the ranks.
One of the misperceptions that are out there in the public domain is that if I play pool or 9-ball, I've got to do it in a pub, and I've got to have a drink. Is that how it's played?
Not really. Look, unfortunately, most of the tables are in venues that are or that do sell alcohol, not necessarily pubs or bars or tavern, but you know, you do get that as an element to support the business, because having a pure play pool venue or pool club, you know, businesses suffer to sustain themselves. So you need that extra income to actually do that. And it is a misconception, which is incorrect actually, you know, which is why it is a lot of the players that, you know, that are forced to play leagues and stuff have to go to these venues because they are the only ones that can cater for the numbers.
For sure.
So, if you look at players that play the sport, the guys that play league and the guys that play competitions very rarely drink. So it's actually the opposite. I mean, despite them going to a bar to play the game, they're not the ones drinking. It's more the social guys that are actually there to kill some time or just to watch a good game of pool.
Yeah, and you mentioned the leagues. Tell us a bit about leagues. How does it work? Where is it based? Is it Cape Town based? Is it Western Cape based?
So leagues happen all over the country. So there's any venue that has 4 tables or more qualified to play leagues. So, you know, as an individual, you can sign up to play a local league, which will qualify to play in your district trials, which further leads on to national level via your province, and then you play nationally, where you have the opportunity to be selected for your country and represent them internationally.
Are there clubs that do it, or can I enter as an individual in a league?
Anyone can enter into leagues. I mean, it's generally team-based,
Okay.
So you would need to play in a team. Now, most clubs, if you don't have a team, like especially at the beginning of the year, where clubs are getting leagues together, there's a lot of new players that we try to attract. So if you don't have a team, you know, we'd get a group of 5 individuals and we put them into a team, and then, you know, you're making new friends, you're networking, and you're having a social game of pool on a Monday night or Tuesday night, whichever it is.
Where's your club?
My club's based in Montague Gardens in Milnerton. We cater for Chinese 8-ball, Blackball pool, and 9-ball, and I'm a massive promoter of 9-ball as well.
Obviously.
Yes.
Where exactly in Montague?
It's you want the street address?
Yeah, give us
it's
the
on
details.
4 Warbler Close, Marconi Beam in Montague Gardens. It's just behind Omuramba bus station.
And how big is the venue? How many tables do you have?
The venue is massive. We've got 16 pool tables, 4
Sure.
Chinese 8-ball tables, and 4 9-ball tables.
Wow,
so
it's a
American
huge
9-ball
warehouse, I
tables.
suppose, converted.
Yeah, no, it is a massive conversion. You know, which is why it's actually led us to acquiring or hosting a qualifier for the US Open next year.
Tell us a bit about this tournament that's happening in in Feb.
Yeah, it's in Feb. So the qualifier is going to take place 22nd to 24th of Feb. It is the South African official qualifier to the US Open Championship. So this event in Q Sport we can compare to the US Open in tennis or the US Open in golf. That's the prestigious level it carries. Total prize money is about $300,000 US,
Sure.
which is a lot of money. You know, equated into rands, it's about 4.5 million rand, and the winner wins $100,000. So that's a lot of prize money for budding cuers that, you know, thrive on sort of winning big prize winnings.
And particularly since most people who play Q Sport and 9-ball particularly are all full-time employed. So that's part of, there's very few professionals, I assume.
Yeah, unfortunately in South Africa that's the case, but overseas there's a massive sort of following of players that actually play Q Sport for a living. So events like these are, you know, sort of few and far between in South Africa, but globally they happen quite regularly.
So how do we find out more about this qualifier? Can I enter?
Yes, you can. So anyone can enter. It's open to any individual. The entry fee is 1,000 rands, which you if the person wins the event, they win a fully paid trip to America. The event will be held in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay between 21st and 26th of April this year.
So you've got 3 months to get your
visas
and everything else.
You've got your visas and then
up your game to be able to.
Yes, of course. So
sure.
It's a short period of time, but we have been advertising it aggressively over the last few months. So we've got a growing list of entrants and participants, which we're hoping to be a bit more toward the cutoff date, which is the 19th of February. And we're going to have players from all over the country attending this event.
Where do I find out more? Do you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website and a Facebook page. It's Vadin Billiards on Facebook.
How do you spell that?
VADIN BILLIARDS. That's our Facebook page. And we have a website as well, which is vadinbilliards.co.za. All the information is on there.
Young man, thank you for your time.
Thank you again.
Good luck for your event. We will hopefully come pop in there and or alternatively bring the winner here so we can showcase him before they go overseas.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Elton.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Let's take an ad break. We'll be right back.